On the 30th of October last year, 45 travellers on a Volvo bus were burnt alive when the vehicle caught fire in Mehbubnagar district of Andhra Pradesh. The bus running from Bangalore to Hyderabad was carrying mostly young people, many software engineers. The incident shocked the country. Investigators have blamed the authorities, bus owners, operators and also manufacturers for criminal negligence and alleged faulty bus design. But nearly 8 months later, the families that lost their bread earners have got hardly any help from any quarters. Who is responsible for this criminal negligence?
Navina and Parveen both lost their husband in a fire that engulfed a Volvo bus travelling from Bangalore to Hyderabad on the 30th of October and took 45 lives. The young women tried to put their grief, pain and tears aside to fight for justice and support. But the many promises of help turned out to be just empty words. They feel let down, broken.
When we used to fight with the government, we used to say these is our right, these are our demands, these are the things government must do. Now we are requesting to the government. We are not demanding, we are not fighting, nothing. We are requesting to the government to provide. There are 3 to 4 women who really need a government job, and because it is called secured job.
Political turmoil in Hyderabad, elections and change of governments has meant their life was no one's priority.
हमारे नए प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी सर से अपील है कि इस एक्सीडेंट में ना ही मेरे हस्बैंड की गलती थी, ना ही मेरी और ना ही ये छोटे से मासूम से बच्चों की गलती थी. सर आप हम लोगों के लिए, हमारे बच्चों के लिए कुछ करिए.
The Criminal Investigation Department of Andhra Pradesh filed a charge sheet blaming, among other things, what it called the faulty design of the Volvo bus. The investigating agency said, in addition to rash and negligent driving by the driver, Volvo bus design was faulty with 300-litre main fuel tank between 2 front tyres and 2 supplementary fuel tanks behind the front tyre. Tanks were made of hard-boiled plastic, floor of plywood instead of steel, material inside like seats were highly inflammable. Emergency exit doors were blocked to provide additional seats and revenue. Bus manufacturers Volvo India, bus owners Divakar Road Lines and bus operators Jabbar Travels were grossly negligent and endangered life. But Volvo, the manufacturers of the bus, have denied that their design was in any way responsible for the tragedy. The company, which prides itself in designing state-of-the-art safety systems for its vehicles around the world, says the accident was not caused by faulty design. Volvo has over 12 years of experience in India and all designs meet relevant regulations. Volvo says the bus was running at over 100 km per hour and the impact of the accident naturally caused severe structural damage to the bus. For the moment, the CID is sending a 400-page report to the Government of India on its findings. For Taran and twins Yusra and Bushra, Papa will only be a picture in the photograph.
प्लीज रोड सेफ्टी के लिए आप कर रही है, सभी कर रही है, लेकिन बस सेफ्टी के लिए भी आप प्लीज कुछ कीजिए.
These are 2 young women with toddlers in hand who lost their husbands and their lives in one of the most horrific accidents in Indian history. And yet, they have got no help at all, either from the state government or from the centre. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Well, we have been focusing on road safety now for quite some time, and this particular story that you saw revisiting the horror of that accident is something that's part of that series. The question we're asking this evening is who really is responsible for the death of all of those people on that bus in Andhra Pradesh. Joining us now, Krishna Prasad, the chief of the CID in Andhra Pradesh. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. Navina, who lost her husband, and it's very brave of you to actually come on this program. We know what a struggle it's been. Sridhar Danduboyan has started a social media campaign, Justice for the Palem bus fire victims, and joins us as well. He joins us from Bangalore. Aditi Bhatt, Director of Policy and Research at the Save Life Foundation, which focuses extensively on road safety, with me in the studio. I should mention that we tried to get Volvo, the manufacturers of that bus, to come on board this program. They have refused, but they've issued us a press note. Mr. Krishna Prasad, let me come to you first. In going through what your investigators have revealed, it's the bus manufacturer, it's the bus operator, it's the road design, it's the culvert itself. There are lots of factors which contributed to this particular death. In our country, given the reality of of road safety, where buses are improperly designed, where buses are improperly outfitted, roads are poorly maintained, was this just another accident waiting to happen?
Well, we have seen several such accidents in the past also. Unfortunately, a lot of citizens lost their lives. But the sad part is, whenever investigation is being done, typically the blame is put on the driver for rash and negligent driving. The driver is arrested and the charge sheet is filed, and that's it. But this time we wanted to go beyond that and wanted to see 360 degrees at the incident. And during the course of investigation, we realized it is just not one agency that is responsible for this ghastly incident, where 45 people were charred to death in just about 12 minutes. And we have found that the design of the vehicle and the actual construction of the road, what we normally call as engineering aspects of the road safety, are largely to blame for this ghastly incident.
But sir, the counter argument to that would be that this was a bus traveling at about 100 kilometers per hour. An impact of that nature, no bus perhaps would have been able to sustain an impact like this. A catastrophic event would have followed.
I do not subscribe to this. When we look at the national highways and the roads that we are designing today, and we look at the vehicles that are being bought with crores of rupees, there is an argument from those people who invest so heavily on the vehicles. If the road is not good, they keep complaining that we require good roads to travel at high speed. After all, people and goods need to be ferried across at faster speed to save a lot of time for everybody. That is the argument that the big investors put when it comes to the vehicles. And that is why the roads have been improved in the country. So both the road makers and the vehicle makers claim that everything is now designed to travel at a high speed. If you want to travel at high speed, if you want to make others to travel at high speed, where are the safety measures? Isn't it your responsibility to bring and capsule and put the safety together along with the speed?
Yeah. Navina, let me come to you. For the first time we've got, perhaps for the first time ever in this country, a report as extensive as this. The merits of this report will be seen by a judge ultimately, and there'll be legal consequences for this. But do you welcome this effort, where there is this sort of multidisciplinary effort at trying to apportion blame? Because as you know, in this country, when it comes to road accidents, they happen, people die, and nobody seems to care.
First of all, I'd like to say that when we immediate actions did not taken by the government when this horrible accident had happened, even with the victim family members. When several times we were approached to the government and we were told by the government that there is no such a rule or the system in place so that we can help you, and there is a third party insurance which you are going to get in the future. I am asking the government, if the government is strictly following the rules and regulations, would have been we get this horrible situation today, sitting in front of the camera and roaming around the government to get the justice. Being a victim family, and I am not a victim family now. I am a victim now by the government. Is this not the crime by the government? I am straight away asking the government. Is this the treatment by the government to get for the family members? There is no condolence even for us. Yes, The third party, the Mehbubnagar district court has taken third party insurance as a sumoto case. It's been already 6 months. We are not sure when we are going to get this insurance amount, and not sure whether we are going to get this amount or not. This is not our question whether we are going to get the amount or not. Are we getting the right justice for us or not?
Mr.
It's
Krishna
been
Prasad,
already 8th month. Is anyone has any idea what these 45 family members are going through the trauma?
Yeah.
By losing in this young age for their husbands, keeping these small kids. Is this possible for us to survive without any support?
Yeah.
Whom do we question? Whether the government, who is giving the permissions which are not supposed to travel for this, not at all suitable for these roads. That Krishna Prasad sir clearly told in his charge sheet that these buses are not at all meant for our Indian roads. Even that our government had given the permission. Whom do we blame? The government, the driver, or the road authorities? Whom do we go and ask for the justice and for the help? Is it the treatment we get in India?
Navina, you make your
government?
point very effectively. Mr. Prasad, let me ask you this question. It's perhaps not, it's a question which it actually goes more to the government. But when it comes to the issue of compensation, there are lots of standards in this country. There is not one standard. For example, today, a policeman of the Delhi police who died just a few days ago while trying to stop some miscreants in a speeding car, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi said that family would get 1 crore rupees. In this particular case, the compensation offered by the government was far less, and in many cases there is no compensation at all. When you are looking at accidents, when you are looking at tragedies like this, shouldn't there be an institution which says that for a particular accident there needs to be a realistic compensation which is paid?
I fully agree with you, and also I agree with Navina. What I feel is I would like to go one step ahead and say that we have roads, we have vehicles, we have people traveling in the vehicles. There are accidents now and then, and people do die. In such a situation, do we drag the entire incident over years before you actually pay the compensation to the bereaved families? Some of them, and many of them, in this particular case, about 19 software engineers lost their lives. So who is looking after those families? Should we not have something like a Solatium or a corpus fund with any authority for that matter, who will immediately come to their rescue without any loss of time? And the law will take its own course. At the end of the entire procedure, maybe a bigger packet is there, but still, initially on day one, there should be something without which we can see how so many families are left out in a lurch to take care of themselves, and it's very difficult and disheartening to note this.
Aditi, let me come to you next. Could you just put this in perspective for us? Because the numbers of people who lose their lives in car accidents in India, it's the highest in the world.
Yes.
Cities like Delhi are the highest in the world. Can you tell us just how big the problem of deaths on our roads are?
Vishnu, this the unfortunate part for India in terms of road safety is that we are not yet looking at it as a public health issue. That's exactly what it is. It's taking away far more lives than necessary, than a lot of other diseases. But we don't have the necessary institutional interventions required. For example, in this case itself, what we're talking about, why is there subjectivity in terms of this blame game and who's to blame? Is it the road? Is it the bus? The truth is that we have an archaic law in place. There is no standardized investigation procedure. It differs from state to state. And how can it be that in this particular accident, perhaps there's a bit of a detailed investigation, but you know, if the road owner is to blame, are they charge sheeted? Are they held accountable? If the vehicle owner is to blame, are they held accountable? But there needs to be some form of standardization, and the regulatory framework, the legal framework needs to look into that. But today, this kind of subjectivity is happening all over the country. And secondly, and unfortunately, there's something called a safe systems approach, which takes into consideration that human beings will always be vulnerable. They will make errors. So in India, we say that 77% of accidents are due to driver error.
Right.
Now, even in this case, you could say, was the driver speeding, not speeding? But this safe systems approach, which we have not adopted in India, the transportation system will take into consideration human error and minimize death and injury. And that's what we really need to see in this country.
All right. Sridhar, you've been involved in the fight for justice for the victims of this tragedy, for the families who've suffered so much. Given the fact that there is actually a process now, there is a process of trying to bring justice. This is rare, this case, in that regard. Are you optimistic that people like Navina, ultimately there will be justice coming their way? Or is this something that's going to be forgotten in the next few months?
My intention is it won't be not like a forget. Whenever the media attention is there, everybody is caring. But when media attention is not there, nobody look after how the justice going happen to family members. So what my concern is, we need to change our attitude first towards the accident. Palem bus incident is not an accident. It is the complete system failure. It's a result of system failure, and where many parties are involved. So if any death is there in life, it is the death you come to know before you are dying. So if any road accident, people are dying immediately, but in Palem incident, that people are struggling and they are not coming out from the bus. It's a painful for everyone actually who is having a human heart. Everyone after the Diwali incident, this incident happened. So it touches. So as a concerned citizen of India, we want to do something for these people and take the. So even Narendra Modi also tweeted for the condolence to the Palem incident, and entire nation and who are the Indians everywhere is very much upset about that incident. But when AP bifurcation and state elections, everything comes into picture, and they are going to local media, and Andhra Pradesh media is trying to help them.
Yes.
But thing is, so many things. So only thing our concern is to do proper justice. Apart from that, the safety measures in the private travels is very much important, and these we are not against to anyone actually. We are at the cost of life. Life is valuable for everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So we are doing our justice campaign with I support justice for Palem victims. We are doing here awareness to the people about the safety measures. At the same time, people need to have a questioning nature. If something wrongs in Kaleshwari accident, there is a passenger clearly see driver drank alcohol, but she doesn't question them. And after that Kaleshwari incident, many people died. And after that Palem incident also, many road accident happened, even Haveri accident, national tribals. So people are used to it. So people need to change the attitude. It is no use to always complete blaming the system.